We know sometimes those relationships get ugly, and sometimes it doesn't come out into the forefront the way this one has come out.
I was telling you that I could always see you getting back with Puffy in a little way.
Sean and I were very different that way. I was very family oriented and the married type. I was actually, when we first worked together in the video, I was married. Even though I was going through problems, nobody knew that, you know what I mean? And I wanted my family, and even though at that time it was not going well, you know what I mean? That was who I was. That's how I was raised.
To be gay in Hollywood, you never expected. They be having these big mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the latest celebrity gossip and drama. Today, we've got a bombshell that's been making waves across Hollywood. Could this really be true? Ben Affleck allegedly called it quits with Jennifer Lopez, and the reason? Some shocking footage featuring J-Lo's past with none other than Diddy. What's the deal with this mystery footage, and how did it reportedly cause Ben to walk away from one of the most famous couples in the world? Stick around as we break down all the juicy details, from the rumors to the reactions. You wouldn't believe the drama that unfolded, but of course, before we go any further, make sure first that you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell for more updates and videos like this. Let's dive right in.
Does provide to the government that would be useful in their case?
Everything. We know that J-Lo was dating P. Diddy in the late 1990s to 2001, right? We know about the gun incident with the club.
I'm not one to gossip, but here goes. So I just opened up my email, and then of course there's an email from People magazine, right? And it's titled, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez not photographed together publicly for 47 days amid reports of tension.
After J-Lo's recent divorce from Ben Affleck, her fourth marriage, there's been a big update regarding her ex, Sean Combs, also known as Diddy. Last week, Diddy was arrested in New York City, facing charges connected to organized crime and misconduct, with allegations stretching back to the 2000s. While Lopez, who dated Diddy from 1999 to 2001, doesn't seem to be worried about how his legal problems could impact her yet, that could change soon. Before we get into the divorce, let's take a step back. Bennifer's journey started in 2001 when they began dating, and Ben proposed in 2002 with a huge pink diamond ring. However, they called off their wedding just before the big day in 2004 and broke up shortly after. Fast forward nearly 20 years to 2021 when they were seen on a date in the Hamptons. By summer 2022, they were married, but if you've been keeping up, you might have noticed they haven't been seen together publicly since a New York outing around March 30th. Jennifer sparked a lot of buzz when she liked an Instagram post about healthy relationships, suggesting that things might not be going well. The post said, "You can't build a relationship with someone who is disconnected from themselves." On top of that, she attended the Met Gala alone, saying Ben couldn't make it because he was busy filming The Accountant 2. But let's be honest, it seems like there's more going on behind the scenes, especially since we're talking about a divorce. Even before these latest reports, there were already signs of trouble. At last year's Grammys, Jennifer appeared to snap at Ben during a tense exchange, even though they played it off. And in that one video, Ben left so quickly after telling J-Lo he'd be back, it looked like he couldn't get away fast enough. So here's the latest scoop. Reports are saying that Jennifer and Ben are not exactly on the same page in their marriage anymore. A source spilled the beans to US Weekly, saying Jen and Ben are having issues in their marriage. They started having issues a few months ago as Jen had started ramping up work commitments and prepping for her tour. And according to TMZ, Ben has even moved out. Their source spilled, "We're told he left a house that he's been seen coming from and going to, and where we're told he's been spending the night as well."
Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are splitting up. The tabloids are all over it. He's been out of the house. They haven't seen the two of them in public in 47 days. And so people are buzzing. That's all I have to say. Next.
As divorce rumors swirl, fans speculate that Ben grew frustrated with J-Lo's constant public sharing of their relationship. Ben has previously expressed that he prefers to keep their marriage private. Back in 2003, Jen and Ben split partly due to public pressure. When they reunited years later, Ben acknowledged that he had to adapt to Jennifer's love for social media. In her 2024 documentary, he explained how they are two people with different approaches working to find a balance.
I love that you want to play younger even in the autobiographical.
This is not my autobiographical, this is meta. This is me using some of my story.
Semi-autobiographical. It's your story, but younger.
But she still got her beauty, her booty, and her bank account, so bye boy to him. Bobby, this isn't about me and you. Bobby, take that out.
No, this is what...
That is not part of the script.
It seems like Ben never really got used to having his own personal life on display, and that put a strain on their marriage. In Jennifer's documentary, there's even a moment where he looks uncomfortable about her sharing their old love letters with friends and coworkers. On top of that, rumors say J-Lo pushed Ben to maintain a certain image, which upset him, especially when people criticized him for getting fillers and Botox, something Jen supposedly encouraged by telling him that everyone in Hollywood, even his friend Matt Damon, does it. Some are wondering if Jen and Ben's split has anything to do with her being linked to Diddy's legal issues. Back in March, rumors started swirling that Jen might be involved in some of the drama. Remember when a woman named Natanya Rubin was shot in the face during an altercation that involved Diddy and J-Lo? Natanya has mentioned wanting to have bullet fragments removed from her face to use as evidence, as she's ready to reopen the case. She's even willing to undergo surgery to help with the trial, despite the risks. Natanya also claimed Jen lied to the jury and thinks she should be investigated along with Diddy. With J-Lo and others testifying back then, there's now talk of reopening the case because if the accusations are true, things could get serious. Diddy and Jennifer Lopez started dating in 1999 and were together for 2 years before breaking up in 2001. In a 2003 interview with Vibe, Jennifer revealed that Diddy's cheating was the reason for their split. Many people still remember their iconic appearance at the 2000 Grammy Awards, where J-Lo wowed everyone with her famous green Versace dress. Looking back on it in 2017, Diddy told Entertainment Tonight, "I knew it would be big for her and fashion, but I didn't realize how huge it would become." Diddy also admitted that Jennifer was without a doubt one of his greatest loves. Despite the breakup, they stayed on good terms, even reconnecting at a party in 2018. In 2021, Diddy posted an old photo of the two, showing that their past relationship still meant a lot to him. What makes this story even juicier is that when Diddy posted that throwback picture, J-Lo was in the middle of rekindling her romance with Ben Affleck. The timing raised a lot of eyebrows and sparked plenty of rumors.
Do you want to know when Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez's marriage troubles began? On their honeymoon. Let me break it down for you. A report just came out in page 6. Translation: somebody very close to Jennifer Lopez in her camp is speaking out, getting out her side of the events.
The photo, simply captioned #TBT, didn't come with any explanation, but its timing was suspicious, especially since J-Lo and Ben were starting to reconnect. Naturally, the internet exploded with speculation. Was Diddy trying to create drama, or was it just a nostalgic post? Diddy quickly cleared things up in an interview with Vanity Fair, saying, "There was no trolling involved, that's just my friend." He emphasized that he wasn't trying to comment on J-Lo's relationship or personal life, but by then, the rumors had already started swirling, leaving people curious if there was more to the story. It's hard to tell how much Lopez was involved, but given the seriousness of the situation, she might feel the need to address it soon, even with her ongoing divorce keeping her busy. Fans are now curious about Jennifer Lopez's past relationship with Sean Diddy Combs, especially following his recent arrest for racketeering and other charges. In 1999, a famous incident occurred at a nightclub in New York, where a heated argument led to a shooting that injured 3 people. Diddy and his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez were arrested and faced charges related to the incident. While Lopez had her charges dropped, Diddy went to trial, arguing that there was racial bias against black men in the legal system. He was found not guilty of all charges, however, his protege, Shine Barrow, received a lengthy 9-year sentence for his involvement and later accused Diddy of betrayal after everything went down. No one was ever charged or found guilty for the shooting itself. One of the 3 people injured, Natanya Rubin, has claimed that Diddy was the one who shot her. Earlier this year, she said she would be willing to have a bullet fragment removed from her face if it could be used as evidence against him. Shine Barrow, who was deported back to Belize after serving 8 years in prison, spoke from his home country, saying, "Combs is not someone I vacationed with or had a close brotherly relationship with. This is someone who destroyed my life." Barrow, along with Lopez, Diddy, and bodyguard Anthony Wolf Jones, was at Club New York in 1999 when a disagreement turned into gunfire, injuring 3 people.
Who I vacationed with and who he and I enjoyed this great intimate relationship of brotherhood. This is someone who destroyed my life.
After the shooting, Diddy, Lopez, and Jones left the club and led the police on a chase that ended with their arrest, during which officers found a stolen gun in their car. Lopez's charges were dropped quickly, but Diddy, Jones, and Barrow, who was just 21 at the time, faced charges for having the gun. While Jones and Diddy were found not guilty, Barrow was convicted of 5 offenses and sentenced to 10 years in prison, serving nearly 9 before being deported.
I was defending him, and he turned around and called witnesses to testify against me, and he contributed. He pretty much sent me to prison.
In a press conference in Belize after Combs' recent arrest on charges of exploitation and racketeering, Barrow claimed that his former mentor turned around and called witnesses to testify against me. He pretty much sent me to prison. Now the leader of the opposition in the Belize House of Representatives, Barrow said he has forgiven Combs because he now has the ability to provide scholarships and invest in the future of his home country. Barrow's comments came after Combs was arrested last week, facing 3 charges: conspiracy to engage in organized crime, exploitation by force, and transporting people for the rough trade. Combs' attorney, Mark Agnifilo, has denied these allegations. Investigators first searched Combs' homes in March, and several news outlets reported that these searches were part of a federal exploitation investigation. As time has passed, more people have come forward to support the claims against Diddy. One woman said she had been sharing her story for years and believes it had been deliberately hidden. She compares her experience to what Cassie and others have recently faced, suggesting there is a pattern of intimidation and cover-ups by Diddy. She also mentioned that he eventually had to pay her for what happened. While it's important to note that these are all allegations, the ongoing nature of these claims raises questions about possible cover-ups and how little the public knows about her story.
The P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Puffy, Sean Puffy Combs, whatever you want to call him, lawsuit.
But have you noticed how J-Lo has been lately? Besides the drama with Diddy, she's been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Her projects aren't performing well, and then there was the controversy with the Bronx orange drink. People are also calling her out for how she treats her staff, claiming it's no coincidence that many former employees share similar stories about their experiences with her. She's also facing criticism for borrowing from black culture without giving credit to the black artists who helped her music succeed. Although she has referred to herself as a negrita, acknowledging her African roots, fans feel that her vocals don't do justice to her Bronx background, which is a big part of who she is. Many believe if she carries this attitude into her marriage, it was only a matter of time before things got rocky. But there's more to the story. It's not just about J-Lo's rumored ties to Diddy's controversial actions, it also brings up a dramatic event from 20 years ago that's getting renewed attention. Natanya Rubin, who was injured in the infamous nightclub shooting in 1999, is now taking bold steps to show that both Diddy and J-Lo were involved in her injuries. She was at Club New York in Manhattan when the shooting happened, and now she's making a risky offer to help with the case.
That's why I shot up the club in New York back in 1999 and let Shine take the fall for it. Let me tell you why that's of utmost importance to me. Because I am the woman who he shot in the face in that 1999, December 27th, 1999, Club New York shooting.
In a recent interview with News Nation, Rubin said she's willing to have doctors remove the bullet fragments still lodged in her face to use as evidence against Diddy. She stated, "If I didn't suffer, I'm willing to have a doctor remove part of the 9mm bullet in my face so it can be used as evidence for this trial, even if it might cost me my life." Rubin's dramatic offer shows just how serious this case is and adds urgency to the ongoing investigation. Her willingness to go to such lengths for evidence highlights her strong desire for justice and reminds us that this case, which has been waiting for answers for decades, is still unresolved. The infamous shooting that night began with a heated argument involving Diddy, then known as Puffy, his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez, his bodyguard Anthony Wolf Jones, and rapper Jamal Shine Barrow. Things quickly spiraled out of control, leading to chaos and gunfire, which resulted in all 4 individuals being arrested.
And trying to put hits out on her because he was afraid that maybe one day they would open the case and she still has the bullet fragments in her face like J-Lo has said nothing. You really thought that just running off and marrying Ben Affleck was going to take you out of the Diddy downfall?
The charges against Lopez were dropped almost immediately, long before the case went to court. She cooperated with the investigation and has always denied being involved in the shooting. Diddy and his bodyguard were cleared of all charges after a trial in 2001. However, Shine, who was just 21 at the time, was found guilty of illegal gun possession and received a 10-year prison sentence. Now, over 20 years later, the case is back in the news because of a lawsuit filed by Rodney Lil Rod Jones in February. In his lawsuit, Jones accused Diddy of making unwanted advances and forcing him into situations involving illegal workers at Diddy's request. He also claimed that Diddy lied about his role in the 1999 nightclub shooting, alleging that Diddy bragged about bribing witnesses and jurors during his 2001 trial. Some court documents even suggest that Jennifer Lopez, who was Diddy's girlfriend at the time, smuggled the gun into the club and handed it to Diddy during the incident.
Puffy pew me in the face. He testified in the criminal trial. It is in the record. They all knew he did it. Everybody knew he did it. But he paid off the club bouncer named Sharice and all these other people and the club owners with their video to hide the video. That's his MO. I told everybody that. This man almost took my life.
Natanya Rubin, who was deeply affected by the shooting, hopes this new legal action will finally bring justice and hold Diddy and others accountable. Rubin shared her struggles, saying, "When I was fighting for my life on the operating table at St. Vincent's Hospital with doctors trying to remove the bullet from my lungs, they had already detained Miss Lopez only to release her and drop her charges within an hour. It's absolutely ridiculous." Combs is currently in jail and being held without bail in a federal exploitation case. He's facing some serious accusations of running a troubling operation involving crimes backed by blackmail and harmful acts. The music mogul is charged with racketeering conspiracy and exploitation, with claims that go back to 2008. He's accused of getting female victims and male adult workers to take part in excessively intoxicated, sometimes days-long intimate performances known as freak-offs. The indictment also suggests there's video evidence of an attack on his former girlfriend, R&B singer Cassie.
My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
The founder of Bad Boy Records is facing serious accusations of SAing women and using physical force against them. He allegedly involved his personal assistants, security, and household staff to help cover everything up. Prosecutors also claim he tried to bribe and intimidate witnesses and victims to keep them quiet. Simply put, he is a serial perpetrator and a serial obstructor, said Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson in court. In their court documents, prosecutors mention that they've talked to over 50 victims and witnesses, and they expect that number to grow. They plan to use financial records, travel and billing information, as well as electronic data, communications, and videos of the freak-offs to build their case. Combs was arrested last week in Manhattan about 6 months after federal agents raided his luxury homes in Los Angeles and Miami.
Freak-offs during the raids on his homes in Miami and here in LA.
Which opens up a whole Pandora's box of who is in this. One of the things they are alleging, and this is the prostitution charge.
If found guilty on all the charges, he could face at least 15 years in prison and even possibly a life sentence. The indictment describes Combs as the head of a criminal group that was involved in serious crimes like exploitation, forced labor, and transporting people for illegal activities. It also mentions offenses related to illegal substances, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and trying to obstruct justice. The charges claim that he and his associates used his power and prestige to intimidate and attract women, often pretending to be in romantic relationships with them.
Which they refer to as the Combs Enterprise, which certainly sounds more like a
mob,
like a mob outfit, that it existed mainly to fuel his desires.
The indictment says that Combs used force, threats, and pressure to make women engage with male adult workers in events called freak-offs. These were described as elaborate, intimate performances that he set up and recorded, resulting in many videos. To make sure the women participated, he provided illegal substances, controlled their careers, and used intimidation. Some of these events could go on for days, and both Combs and the women often needed IV fluids afterward to recover from the effort and illegal substance use. During searches of Combs' home earlier this year, law enforcement found illegal substances, videos of the intimate performances, and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. They also seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15 rifles with scratched-off serial numbers from his bedroom closet in Miami.
We're now getting a closer look at the mountains of evidence federal investigators collected at the homes of P. Diddy leading up to his indictment. This includes things like guns, ammunition, electronic evidence, and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and personal lubricant.
The indictment claims that Combs choked, shoved, hit, and kicked people, causing injuries that took a long time to heal. It also states that his employees sometimes prevented victims from leaving or tracked down those who tried to escape. According to the indictment, Combs used explicit recordings as collateral to keep the women quiet and obedient. He controlled them by promising career opportunities and financial support while threatening to take it away. He even dictated how they looked, kept track of their health records, and controlled where they lived. But what's your take on what's really going on? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos like this.